if you've ever had one of those days where even though you knew you challenged yourself to do a thing with consistency so that you build a habit for manifesting the things that you want, you found yourself asking, well, who would know if I skipped today? You know who would know? I would know. So as I give Instagram its chance to do a thing and check in, some things have weighed heavy on my heart as I thought about what we're going to talk about for the letter H. It's obviously the letter that begins my last name, Hardon, and just remembering that my father always taught us, you know, me and him had the same first name. So I was his first son, Richard Hardon. And my daddy was an awesome father. And he said, we do what we do for the last name, not the first name. So as we think about all the things that come into the whole conversation, I know that has the H sound, but it's not an H word. I'm not cheating. Somebody's got to clock me as I go through these conversations. Let me know how often I hit words that begin with the letter H when it comes to the mindset for making money, but more important, for creating generational wealth. Meaning you got to prepare that next generation for what they're about to receive. It's not how much money we leave to our children, but how much insight, how much wisdom, how much guidance we leave in them. So as I talk about H today, I'm going to go someplace probably different than you might think when it comes to making money, and that's health. Yeah, health. Health is wealth. Do you know that it is impossible to do good when you don't feel good? And I have a simple prescription for anybody. Like, I know there are so many different things that people think about. How am I going to fit in? How am I going to fit in the time for exercise and meditation and reading? Put this in your notes. If you don't take time to take care of your health, you will have to make time to be sick. If these last 2 years have proved nothing to us, how invaluable our health is, and I've got the simplest prescription in the world when it comes to health. Just write down your paper from top to bottom, MEDS, meds. Take your meds every day. Now, I don't have any specific medication that you got to take. I'm just talking about M, it's meditation. Just spend some time mindfully thinking about silence, listening. They say that silence is the language that God speaks and everything else is noise. Just meditate. Just think on a single thought for today. Like the thought I've been meditating on for today is, I am unique. And it's my greatest gift. All day, just meditate, concentrate on a thought, meditate, ruminate, think on a thing with consistency in silence. But then the second letter, E, stands for exercise. Meditate, exercise. You got to get your heart rate up, get your blood flowing, get the perspirating and respirating. Like, do you know those words have that same core in the middle? Perspiration, respiration, aspiration, inspiration. It's all about the inflow of breath. Life is movement, therefore shall you move at least 30 minutes, 2 times a day. Get your heart rate going. I like to do my first exercises first thing in the morning. So first thing in the morning, I do my yoga and then I do cardio. And then later on in the day, I might walk the dog and lift weights. But whatever things you do that move you, hey, dancing is great exercise. But then the next letter is D, diet. We are what we eat. Yeah. And it is not just the physical food. Like, you already know what you should eat and what you should not eat to create optimal health. But a simple guideline is, is it green? Did it grow? Was it natural? It was put here for you, not manufactured to enslave you. Make sure it's some green vegetables, some fruit, some grains, some protein in your life on a daily basis. Then hydrate. You got to drink water. Our bodies are 75% water. You got to hydrate. That's also an 8. So we got to get that in there a couple of times. You got to hydrate yourself so that your bodily functions flow and we can start to move with and understand and agree with the water. And the last thing that you got to do and that I got to do is you have to sleep. See, during our sleep cycles is where our subconscious mind goes to work on the vision that we've set, the things that we've done during the day, and the things that we need to get done in the next day. Take your meds, get your health together, because health is wealth. And it's impossible to do good if you don't feel good. Now, once you got your health in order, the house that serves as the home for your spirit and your intellect, there are some things that we have to do to create habits. Even right now, I'm in the process of creating a new habit for myself, of making sure to take time to engage and teach with nothing to sell. Meaning, everything I said to you during this conversation so far, I don't have anything to sell you other than the idea that your health is valuable. But the second thing is just understanding the nature of habits. The best results that you have in your life today are based on the best habits that you have maintained over a period of time. Meaning, when I talked about consistency the other day in chapter C, I said, it's not what you do occasionally, but what you do consistently that creates results. But the things that we do most consistently are the things that are our habits. And if you ever get to the place where you look at and identify a habit and you don't want that thing in your life, habit substitution, replacing a habit, a bad habit, with a good habit is how you fill the void. What do you mean, Richard? So say, for example, I want to create the habit of every day making a point to go live. I set in my intentions at the beginning of the day, and then I hold myself accountable. Anything that you do for a consistent period, 30 days, hence this 26-day challenge, which flowed over from 30 days that I did on Facebook last month, building the habit. This isn't a scripted conversation, by the way. I do want you to know I didn't write this down. These are my thoughts, but I want to have a habit of hosting conversations that help other people get what they want based on being able to learn from the mistakes that I made. Meaning the best lessons I teach, honestly, they weren't expertise I was born with. They're the hard-won habits of trying something, falling, failing, getting up and doing something different. Have a habit of trying something different. And when it comes to our habits, start thinking habitually about who you can legitimately help every day. Who can I help today? Who needs to know what I know? Who needs assistance in understanding how to apply the strategies to create different results? And then I'm going to bring it home with 4 concepts, all of them that begin at home. And the first one off the top of my mind is home ownership. Home ownership. It's ironic. There's a saying that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's not just a saying, it's a fundamental design of our economic system. Meaning, if you look at the net worth of homeowners versus renters, this is something that in our home ownership workshops, I talk with people about consistently. Do you know the net worth is not just twice as high, or 5 times as high, or 10 times as high? It's 40 times the net worth of renters. Now, why is that? Home equity. That's part 2. Over time, that homeowner, even if they started off only having 10% or 5% to put down on the home, every payment that they make is buying more ownership, more equity in the home. But the renter, every rent payment they make is buying home equity. It's just buying it for someone else. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because that's systematic wealth creation for another person versus building that idea that our home. And I'm one of those people. If you look at the way I do my economic models and the way that I value cash flow, even though the bank lets you consider your home your biggest asset toward creating net worth, I keep in perspective that I'd rather have the money go into my net worth than someone else's. But the third concept is home business. There's a book. I don't know if I've recommended it during this particular series. It's a short book. I was talking about it with my boy Mike at the gym the other day. What up, Mike? It's called The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. I did not write this book. I received no royalties from George. Matter of fact, he's gone. Or his publishing company when I recommend the book to other people, but it helps people to understand the habits and disciplines you need to maintain. And in the book, there's 7 cures for a lean purse. Like, it's set in ancient Babylon, so it's very biblical story sounding, but it's all about personal finance. And number 5 on that list is make of thy home a profitable dwelling. Even back then, because that book is written in the 1920s, even back then, George Clason understood the way that things work in America is if, in addition to money that you make outside the home, you also have a way to make your home make money. That's the only way to make this is the house I live in, cash flow positive. What do you mean? See, the asset, the bank considers your home your biggest asset, but it's your biggest asset on their balance sheet, meaning all you got to do is look at the cash flow of your mortgage payment. When you make your mortgage payment, money goes to them, it goes to the insurance, it goes to interest, and a portion of it goes to principal, which eventually comes to you, but no cash flows from that transaction to you unless you take advantage of things like the home business laws. I want you to really think about how much the laws changed in 2018 when the president of the United States was a businessman, and he skewed everything about the tax code in favor of business owners, including home-based business owners. Now, here's the blessing. You can own a home business if you have a social security number and a place that you live. That's all you need, a domicile and legal residence in the United States, and you get all the benefits of operating as a business owner. Businesses get taxed way different than we do when we're working our jobs. And the last thing I'm gonna leave on this is home training. Home training, good old-fashioned home training, meaning we can't continue to have the habit of thinking that formal education and what kids learn in high school is designed to help them go to the next level. This is the thing. Our kids don't live the way we tell them to. They live the way we show them to. Make sure that they never have to look past the front door for a role model, to see someone who has the hustle hard mentality that builds the habits of maintaining their health, knowing that their health is their wealth, and it's impossible to feel good, to do good if you don't feel good. Make sure that on a daily basis, they have an understanding of the individual investments that we make, how we build a budget, how we make mature decisions, because the world would have them understand something different and train them to be poor. So, summarizing, what did we say today? Health, habits, helping others, home ownership, home equity, home business, and home training are the keys in the letter H that will help us understand how to get from where we are to where we want to be. See you tomorrow as I talk about the letter I, and you, let's all get some sleep. All right, good night.